Be moving, please. While you are taking it, just adjust the place. It's okay.
On behalf of the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army, I'm highly delighted and honored to welcome our special guest of honor, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, our distinguished invited guests, and other esteemed persons to the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2025. My sincere appreciation goes to all our esteemed guests for making out time to join us for this auspicious occasion, the first of such conferences since my appointment as Chief of Army Staff on 24th October 2025. Let me specifically thank the Commander-in-Chief for honoring this occasion by the gracious presence of His Excellency, the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima Mustafa, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, who is ably representing him. Sir, your presence here today reflects the steadfast commitment to our national security, the professional development of the Nigerian Army, and the support for our transformative drive. The Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference holds at the end of every year and serves as a medium for the leadership of the Nigerian Army to critically assess the Army readiness and operational performance throughout the preceding year. It also offers an opportunity for the Army to review key policies and formulate strategies for the future. Consequently, in line with Mr. President's strategic directive and my intent to build the Nigerian Army into a more robust force, I recently conceived my command philosophy, which is to advance the transformation of the Nigerian Army into a more professional, adaptable, combat-ready, and resilient force capable of decisively discharging its constitutional responsibilities within a joint and multi-agency environment. Each officer and soldier of the Nigerian Army is a stakeholder to the achievement of this credo, and within a short period, we shall all begin to feel the impact of its actualization. I must state that our achievement thus far has been facilitated by the profound and far-reaching support the Nigerian Army continues to receive from Mr. President and the National Assembly. Mr. President's prompt interventions span every facet of our military operations, modernization efforts, and institutional development, equipping us with the task of building a stronger, more capable, and future-ready Nigerian Army. Nigerian Army has been at the forefront of the fight against terrorism and insurgency, making immense sacrifices to safeguard the peace and security of our beloved nation. However, we recognize that the dynamic and evolving nature of our threat landscape demands a more holistic approach to the conduct of our operations, and so this conference will provide a platform for reflection on our activities of the past year.
I'm honored to address this distinguished gathering at the opening ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2025. This annual engagement remains a vital strategic forum for the Nigerian Army to review its operational posture, assess its readiness and professionalism, and align its future direction with national security priorities. It provides an opportunity for senior commanders and key stakeholders to reflect on lessons learned from ongoing operations, examine emerging threats, and develop practical responses that will further strengthen the capacity of the Nigerian Army to discharge its constitutional responsibilities effectively. The importance of this conference cannot be overstated. given the complex and evolving security environment confronting our nation. Nigeria continues to face a combination of terrorism, banditry, criminality, and other asymmetric threats that require strategic focus, sustained focus, strategic clarity, and adaptive leadership. I'm confident that the deliberation at this conference will generate actionable recommendations and innovative approaches that will enhance operational effectiveness in the year 2026 and beyond, while reinforcing the Nigerian Army's role as a central pillar of national stability. I commend the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army for their resilience, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to the defense of our sovereignty and territorial integrity. Specifically, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, and all officers, both serving and retired, that have contributed one way or the other to where we are today. Our distinguished retired but not tired Chiefs of Defense Staff and service chiefs, I want to appreciate you and commend you for the pillars you have instituted while you were in service. All we see today are things that people have done in the past, and this has prepared for those going into the future. And it's going to be a challenge to those of you that are coming forward, that you must remain professional. You must be committed, without which you will not be achieved much. The Nigerian Army and indeed the armed forces have continued to stabilize this country and will continue to do so. So whenever it is your turn, ensure that you raise the bar. While security challenges persist, it's evident that the operational capacity of terrorist groups, bandits, and other criminal elements has been significantly degraded across multiple theaters. These gains reflect the courage of our troops, improved planning and execution, and the growing impacts of coordinated operations conducted within the joint and multi-agency framework. The truth about it is there is no single individual, no single parastatal, no single service can achieve this alone. It takes the whole of society working together in synergy as Nigerians for us to achieve this. In today's security environment, success can only be sustained through a unity of effort. Suffice to remark that the jointness and inter-service cooperations are no longer operational, but fundamental requirements for effective national defense. The armed forces must continue to operate as an integrated force supported by strong intelligence sharing, coordinated planning, and close collaboration with other security agencies. It's this collective approach that enables us to maximize resources, respond swiftly to threats, and prevent that reemergence of insecurity in our cleared areas. As we pursue operational success, we must never lose sight of the human dimension of service. We honor the memory of our gallant personnel who paid the supreme sacrifice in the defense of our nation and whose courage continues to inspire our collective resolve. I have here to mention our past Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Lagbaja. I'm very happy to see Madam Lagbaja here with us. We commend you and we appreciate you.
It's both an honor and a solemn privilege to join you this morning at the 2025 Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference. Let me begin by expressing appreciation to our leader, my father, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, here ably represented by Mr. Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, for his steadfast leadership and for the continued support for the Nigerian Armed Forces, and for the confidence he had reposed in the Nigerian Army as a central pillar of our national security architecture. I also warmly welcome all distinguished guests who have traveled far across the country to Lagos for this very important gathering. I'm particularly pleased that this strategic conference is holding here in Lagos, a city that has always stood as the intersection of Nigeria's history, Nigeria's resilience, and the national ambition. Lagos is not just the commercial center of our country. It is a melting point of culture, ideas, and aspiration, and its security is inseparable from Nigeria's overall stability. Nigeria's military history is deeply interwoven with our national journey, from the early years of independence through the period of profound challenges and transition to our present democratic dispensation. The Nigerian Army has remained a defining institution in the preservation of our territorial integrity and our national cohesion. History has consistently shown that security is a fundamental prerequisite for national development, and the Nigerian Army remains one of the most critical instruments through which nations project stability, authority, and confidence. There can be no enduring development without security, and no security without capable, disciplined, and professional military. Today's Nigerian Army is operating in an era that is defined by complex and evolving threats: terrorism, insurgents, banditry, transnational crime, non-traditional security risk that demands intelligence, that demands adaptability and interagency cooperation. Encouragingly, the Nigerian Army has continued to evolve in response to all of these realities. I have observed with pride and confidence the progressive restructuring and the modernization of the Nigerian Army, the introduction of new platforms, improved training doctrines, and the renewed emphasis on professionalism. As showcased during the recent Nigerian Army celebration, which reflects an institution that is deliberately repositioning itself to meet the demands of a modern and constitutionally ready institution.
The debt of gratitude this nation owes its armed forces is one that cannot be exhausted in a day, nor captured in wars alone. You have chosen duty over comfort and service over ease. You have stood in harm's way so that our people may sleep in peace. And you have borne sacrifices that history will remember even when they upload pets. For this, Nigeria remains grateful. I am therefore deeply honored to share in your passion for professional excellence, national service, and the unyielding defense of our sovereignty on behalf of my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This gathering, the opening ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2025, once again affirms the Nigerian Army's enduring commitment to professional excellence. It is a critical platform for honest reflection, rigorous evaluation, and the continuous improvement of training, administration, and operation. As this year's conference begins, I urge you to consolidate your gains and chart a clear and purposeful path towards strengthening our national security architecture in a world that grows more complex by the day. The Nigerian Army has always risen to the challenge of the nation, and this administration will continue to provide full support to ensure that you fulfill your constitutional mandate of safeguarding our territorial integrity. Since assuming the mantle of leadership, we have followed closely the impressive progress being made in transforming the Nigerian Army into a professional, adaptable, and resilient force capable of operating decisively within a joint and multi-agency environment. I commend the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, and all officers and soldiers for the clarity of vision and sense of purpose with which you continue to lead and serve. There is no nation that can achieve greatness without security. This is the reason it stands as one of the 8 priority areas of our renewed hope agenda. This government remains resolute in mobilizing all military and law enforcement assets to eliminate security threats and to protect the lives and property of all Nigerians. You must remain steadfast in this mission, guided by discipline, professionalism, and fidelity to our national ideals.
Next is Army Warrant Officer Olatunji Monsuru. Is Army Warrant Officer Promise Gagia. Next is Army Warrant Officer Salahuddin Bola. Then lastly, Sir, Army Warrant Officer Sati Mahuel.
Check what. Senior officers, please, can we stand photograph? Please.
Now with this, we have come to the end.
Let's go back.